Hello my friends, now Furtado here, the Rebel Turner, and I'm back. Back for a couple of days. That's how it is. My recordings generally are something I do on Saturdays and Sundays. Like I was saying, if you have something smaller like this, which is manageable even on a small mini lathe, and you cut it up accordingly, you can come up with the same idea of what we're going to be doing today. What I want to do is I want to take it up, round it over from this side up, catching both crotches on both ends of the bowl, and most likely I will make it round and not necessarily a natural edge. But before committing to that, what if I'm going to make it a natural edge or not, I'm going to look at it before I take out any bark and see if I like it or not. So it's between centers, spur drive and life center. And again, I emphasize this often enough, but no matter how often I emphasize this, it's probably not enough. Lots of pressure between your tailstock, your headstock, and your tailstock. Now on this case, because I got the bark out here, I am not going to go through here from the outside because all of this is end grain on both ends, so I would be beating myself up. But if I take it from out here and work it in, then it's a little bit easier. And trust me, it makes a huge difference on how you start your cut, whether if you're cutting from inside or you're cutting from the outside. You say, Al, last week you showed me to do it the opposite. It's looking at it and seeing how will the wood chip away. What's the point that you can actually take slivers off on this? If you're going from here, when you're beating this up, you're literally possibly chipping this away and getting a hard beating on the bottom of the tool between your tool rest and the leading edge of this, and then when you get out here again, you're chipping. If you're going this way and you're leaning into it, you're automatically flowing with the wood and much less of the chip because you're leading gradually into the leading and leading gradual into the exit of the wood. You got that? Does that make sense? I will try to show you and see what you think. Speed, well, not gonna go super fast, but that's 500 RPM right there, and the lathe is pretty good. Again, from the outside, lead it in slow, feel for the wood. And you can see what's happening. None of this is tear away. If I wanted to save this bark, this would be a perfect way of demonstrating how to save it. But you can see that I'm leading into it, even though I got a little chip away over here. But it's all leading into the cut. The tool is always leading in, so you're not pulling it away. If I was going from out here, it would be pulling away from the wood. So let's go a little bit further and see what this produces. Get my tool rest as close as I can, a little bit lower than what it was, and this should give me a good lead on this part. So you can already see I already got this whole side cut, both ends, and I'm already working towards the center point where the tenon is going to be. Well, I'm going to go in here a little bit further up, because either way it's going to come up and make that tenon. And I'll be able to flip it over and get a good visual of what I want as a final. Since it's a bigger piece and a little heavy, I'm going to set this up on my long jaws. Well, I am not happy with the design. I'm not happy with this just very uniform holes on both sides against a nice straight edge. So this is one for the books that did not work. Oh, I didn't give it enough time to visualize what this would do. I love the idea of the two crotches as anticipated on the piece, but this does not work. So this is a time to come up with an alternative idea to do with this particular bowl. So I'll be back with what just has to cure up a little bit. Even though that's a 5-minute epoxy, after 5 minutes it's somewhat rubbery. You can't work it anymore, but it's a rubbery surface. Put this in the lathe in a couple of hours and recut this, retrue it. I got a little bit of room that I can go in. It's about 3/8 of an inch thick right now. So when all said and done, this lip right here will probably be about 1/8 of an inch thick. When placing something back on the lathe, try to get it back as true as possible. We know that the piece has had a little bit of shrinkage, so therefore it's not going to sit exactly, but try it. The closer you get it back to its true form, the better you're going to be able to finish it off without low spots. And I'm just using my scraper right now. Nice and easy. Time for some Yorkshire grit, and see if I can polish this up. This is a beautiful piece. The shine, the finish is really nice on this piece. Really nice. One of the nicer pieces. It's time to finish it off. Take out the foot and get this piece on display. Generally I put this in my small jaws, but my jaws are tied up on the other piece right now. But the idea is the same. On the other hand, this one that I did, and I resorted to the acrylic or epoxy filler. Just beautiful, beautiful piece. It's a double crotch. You can see it on both ends over here, and the wood grain is just amazing. I've been wondering what type of wood this was for a little while. I've turned a couple of pieces out of it and I really wasn't sure what to make of it. The piece, it's somewhat balanced between the bark and the epoxy on both ends. And the thing behind this is you should never give up on what you're turning. If it doesn't look good, at some point resort to something a little different. Do something with it. This one I was about to give up because I did not like the idea of the two uniformed voids on both sides. It was very uniform and it didn't belong, especially after it was screwed up on the top all the way across. So if it was natural edge going on both ends and it showed that going consistently all the way up, it would have looked okay. But I cut them on an angle this way. So the crotch was cut here and here. And this is the void in the middle, is the two bark inclusions of where the two crotches met. So it was very low on that area over there, and that's I decided to orient it in that way. And I was debating whether if I really wanted to do that or not. Well, now that I resorted to this, I'm kind of glad I did, but had I turned it the other way, it would have been much easier. I would not have had to put the epoxy in, and it would have given me still a nice looking piece. Would it be as nice as this with the character? No, I don't think so. I think all you see in there is due to the fact that you got the two crotches very much at the end, the intersecting point of the wood. So, here's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week, I hope, on this one. Signing off, Rebel Turner. Till next time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.